Good evening and welcome, dear Liz friends. My name is friend Diogo, for those I haven't met, and welcome to another Therapeutic Talk at Lighting the Shire Spirits Group. It's always a pleasure to be with you all. We apologize for the short delay in starting the meeting. We just had some technological issues to overcome. That happens. But I'd like to invite everybody to connect with us now through a quick mentalization of light and love. Let's think of the protection that we have around us, connecting with our friends in the spiritual realm. So let's imagine this blue whitish light protecting us and supporting us in our family environment and wherever we're dialing in to connect tonight. And yes, we like to thank the traditional owners of the lands in which we are streaming from, the Darwal people of the Sutherland Shire, and pay our respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. And we like to connect with the amazing spiritual helpers and light workers that support this amazing nation in where we're based in Australia and all the different nations hereby present. And it's an honor to be here. And we'll be talking about the topic, our family, our spiritual protection, to remind ourselves about the importance of first understanding the concept of our spiritual and our family ties from, meta, the material family ties, and how the two differ, and the amazing opportunities that we're given to learn and to grow together. And also, we'll be touching on the importance of connecting with the mentor that is assigned to work with our family and the protection of our home, and how to conduct the light at home practice, which is what we call the weekly meetings, in where we have the opportunity as a family to meditate on a topic, to together think about our spiritual growth, and how as a family we create a spiritual environment that provides nurturing for our souls, so we can recharge and recuperate all the energy that we spend on our day-to-day, living and working and studying and fulfilling all our commitments. So how do we make our home this temple where we can recharge, recuperate, and be ready again for working towards the goals that we have set ourselves to achieve? So I will start with quoting Emmanuel and some of the information he shared kindly with us on this book, Thought and Life. So on chapter 12, entitled The Family, he talks a little bit about our family relationships, I guess. So Emmanuel, when he talks about the spirit, he always talks about how we are, as spirits, the reflexes of what we've done over many lifetimes or many years. So he calls our mental reflexes, what comes up in our minds naturally, the results of what we've, acquired, what we've worked to achieve as spirits. And he says that family relationships can be considered as an important basis of our mental reflexes, because it is through the experiences that we seek to have as spirits, like choosing the home that we were going to be born in, the country, the culture, the learnings that we needed to have, considering, how it's so important for us as humans to lay the foundations of our learning and development in the early years of life. So Our parents, to begin with, our moms and dads, our mothers, our fathers, our closest family connections, siblings, aunts, uncles, they all play a big role in forming, building who we are, in molding the spirit, right? Because we understand that when we reincarnate, um, we start a new chapter in our lives, and we also have the opportunity to build on what we have learned and also shape and have a fresh start to sometimes let go of past tendencies. So it's during those foundational years, really, between pregnancy, gestation to 7 years of age, that the spirit can be the most moldable. And then we know that as we are maturing in the biological sense, when we are getting to our teens, when some of our glands, like the pineal gland and other systems in our body, it starts getting us to be active in terms of reproduction, etc. That's when some of the strong tendencies of the spirit might kick in. And again, another vulnerable time, according to science, all the way up to 26 years of age, our brains are still developing. So how important it is to have peers that are, I guess, supporting us through those challenges, and also to have a strong family foundation so we can turn to, our closest family and friends who are part of our spiritual family when we have difficulties and existential challenges, which tend to come a lot in that early adulthood as well, right? And beyond, right? Because ideally, we would have people that we support and that are supporting us all the way through our life cycle, right? But Emmanuel mentions here that spirits from elevated levels pioneer evolution. So, of course, we can think about spirits that have acquired a lot of knowledge and moral development and are already acting more in line, in tune with the natural law, are the ones that are teaching others as well, or raising the bars around what kind of mental reflexes, goals we should achieve or we should strive to achieve as human beings. So, the more we have the opportunity to learn from each other in the family circles that we have, through observing, through appreciating, the importance of the acquisitions our ancestors have made, the paths they braved, and what lessons were learned in our family constellations. The more we can understand our own nature, our place in society as an individual, as a spirit, and what roles can we work to have, as contributing members of society. So he says that the spirit reincarnates in the same sphere of their family relationships and meets again the links that they have woven for themselves according to the thread of their thoughts and inclinations. So our families can sometimes be the results of those mental reflexes that we accumulated through many years or many lifetimes. And like he says here, we've got the psychological heritage that we need to have offered from our parents and from the environment around us growing up to become a better version of ourselves. So Emmanuel also said here that what is referred to as psychological hereditary, therefore, is in a way due to the natural gathering of spirits of the same inclinations and activities. So he says that it's not by accident that we sometimes have people in our families that are very similar to us, because we might have formed those spiritual family ties, and then that is reflected on the personality, the inclinations, and what we like. And we find those people that sometimes are not from our blood relations, but people that we have a lot of affection towards and a lot of affinity with, that we hit it off from the get-go. So those can be spirits that were part of our, or are part of our spiritual family, that are not related to us by blood in this lifetime, but sometimes we feel more connected with some of those people than we are feeling connected with our direct family. So Spiritism brings us this open-mindedness about connections, spiritual connections. But above all, we have a lot of, I guess, tools and resources that Spiritism offers us as well, to understand those family conflicts and challenges that we might experience as well, from that lens of I have something to contribute, I have something to learn from this relationship, instead of guilt tripping or being rebellious against the challenges that we are living. Because when we think that every experience that we have is available for us to grow from in this lifetime, are positive and were given to us as a gift, even the challenges that we might have in our family, we can see it as opportunities to develop skills, to develop virtues, moral qualities that if we were in a different family setting, we wouldn't be able to enjoy or to learn as spirits. So it's interesting, but yeah, Emmanuel mentions these tendencies that we might observe, the traits that are quite observable when we see families. So he talks about a family of musicians who will easily gather friends from the same divine art, or like having inclinations towards music and musical activities. There's family of artists that would enjoy paintings and the expression through arts. Excuse me, and that this also applies to sculptors and poets, politicians, physicians, businessmen, and farmers. And Emmanuel talks about these ties of affection that repeatedly share the same family genes, and how through the work of being born and reborn, we're always supporting each other by giving and receiving knowledge and the expressions of support that we can give. And hence why it's so important to value family foundations, family relationships, and to understand that every family will have a challenge, right? I think that's also a reality, because of the type of planet and moment in our planetary evolution that we're living. So for those of you who are not aware, in Spiritism, we also understand that each orb is going through a different level of evolution, spiritually speaking, and Earth is currently going through a moment of trial and expiations, and a transition into a regeneration state. So what that means is we're going to move from being human beings that are more focused on material things, and we see more, I guess, negative traits of personality and attitudes, versus generosity and peace and friendship and brother and sisterhood. But we will move into that, because planets that are in that regeneration stage, that's what we see. We see the prevalence of good over evil. We see people trying to be their best selves, and we see people working as sisters and brothers, and we see that fraternity feeling. And this is what we're working towards, but we can only get there if each family can recognize and address, I guess, the matches that were prepared for the collective evolution of that family unit, that family constellation, within what we were given, right? So everybody, each individual, each spirit will have things to offer in their family units. And the quest here is for us to look inside and explore, okay, if I can analyze what place I was given in this world, what are my good traits, what are the things that can contribute with in my family, and then, deeply think about that. Am I accomplishing what I was given in terms of the opportunities in this life or not? If not, why not? And who could help me? And it's important to recognize that as well. That we might not have all the answers, and people have to work as teams and complement each other. So sometimes we might feel very different, very, very much the odd black sheep in our family because we feel very different to others. But then we've got friends that, like I was saying, could be very close to our hearts and very connected with our essence because they're part of our spiritual family, and we can lean on them for understanding and for support, and we can also develop those skills that the challenging, I guess, in brackets, situations will bring us, because that's the purpose of being here, of being alive, is to improve who we are, is to develop ourselves as spirits and to reach our harmony, our complete balance and potential as humans. So Emmanuel also talks about the mutual deficiencies and painful trials that families might share. Some family units might have more unbalanced difficulties, and even genetically, we can see that, or they will attract the company of people that have got those kind of challenges emotionally, even physically speaking. And we see that, in biology, in science, it's all justifiable through genetics. So, if someone has depression, they would look at parents, so part of the explanations for some of the even mental health dilemmas that we share would be explained through the genetic tracing. And that's what we learn in Spiritism, that the spirit actually precedes the genetic material being shared, the genetic tracing, but that means that we have things to learn together. We have things to balance out in that family unit. And there's no judgment. There's nothing about situations being bad or good. It's more, okay, we were ready for this type of challenge or this type of learning, and we were giving this family unit, this environment, these resources as the way to learn about what we need to learn and grow and develop what we need to grow and develop in this lifetime. So Emmanuel also says here, more of the generation in families, therefore, is the result of collective debts that places within a sickly genetic environment in a situation we deserve. It is a situation we deserve in our responsibilities with life and the world. Thus, we are compelled to endure the painful return of some mental reflexes that we have produced. And our relatives become the agents of this process, and they return such toxins to us in the form of affliction and pain. So this is the downside, but the positive side being we also have the links of happiness, of trust, of true love that we have developed over many years. And we are able to express that in our family groups through the love we express, to supporting each other, and from really connecting on a deeper level as spirits. And I guess one thing that we have to think about is, how much self-sacrifice is involved when we want to live our lives and the lives in our family units, thinking about what's best for everybody, not thinking just about ourselves. And that's the first thing that we learn, right, when we learn to live in society, is through looking at our family, our home, our responsibilities, and how do we make the most of those opportunities that we have. And it's where we learn how to relate to one another. And then we replicate what we learn in our family unit, in our community, and in our public life. So it goes on, right? Pardon me. But yeah, so this, the dedication of a spirit towards improving our family spiritual condition is a task of self-sacrifice, as well as patience and humility, as Manuel says. These are new resources for the production of spiritualized mental reflexes that are capable of erasing the effects of previous troubled and unfortunate conduct. So, through the challenges that we are given, we also have the opportunities of balancing out relationships, situations where we might have made poor choices in the past, and we have the opportunity to bring a positive spin to it. And I guess before we coming to the end of the therapeutic talk tonight, I wanted to highlight the learnings that we have from Spiritism as well around the protection and the resources that we have, because we are about to head into, the season of Christmas and spending a lot of time with family. And I know that a lot of people dread this time, and it's very common for people to have anxiety and difficulties because everyday lives, when we are working, studying, fulfilling our commitments, can be quite, in brackets, distracting from the work that we were supposed to be doing with our families, and the most important work, because the balancing of our family relationships is considered the most important work. So most people might not know that we not only have our spiritual mentors individually, so each individual, each spirit has one mentor, spiritual mentor that has been assigned before we were born to work with us throughout this life and to achieve certain things. So they are people who know us very well, and they not only work together to bring the peace and harmony of family units, but families also have spiritual protectors that are connected with the family. And each home has one dedicated spiritual mentor that we should connect with. We should always connect not only with our individual mentors individually, but also as a group. And this is what we call the light at home practice. So in summary, what is the light at home practice? And I will post a resource as well after streaming this video, so we can remind everybody about what is the light at home practice. Is choosing a time, 20 to 30 minutes. It's not long. Every week, a day and a time where everybody in the family can be together, and you can together connect as a family with the spiritual protectors, with the spiritual mentors, the individual mentors, and read a passage that is enlightening for the group. This can be done with children present. If you have children books talking about spirituality, that can be read as well. We do it in our family. We choose Sunday mornings because we know it's a day that most likely we are all going to be at home. And it's only 20 minutes of grounding ourselves together, opening a passage of the book. We can open randomly. There's a few message books, like this one, for example, Thought and Life, but there are other books from the Spiritist codification that can be used. So we can share a list, and we just reflect together about the topic. We talk about it, and then we put in some water in different cups, and we can ask for the spiritual protectors that are working within our families to magnetize the water to support us with our physical and mental well-being, to support us through the week that we're about to have. And we can take that moment of being together to really take a deep breath, disconnect from everything, and connect with each other. What we see these days, and what's becoming an issue, I guess, in society as a whole, is families being disconnected from one another because each one individual member is more focused on being on the phones, individually, or with headphones on whilst inside the home. So it's important to choose times where we can disconnect from all that and we can be present with one another. And we all appreciate that, we have school, work and other commitments in life. But it's so important to take a moment to touch base, recap the week that was had, give thanks, say our gratitude prayers to the spirits that are supporting each family unit, each individual, and what we're trying to achieve, and ask for guidance, ask for protection, ask for the cleansing of the spiritual environment in our homes. And what we learn in Spiritism is by doing this practice every week, by selecting the day and the time that we are committed to doing it, we enlist the assistance of our family mentors, the family spiritual mentors that come and help with the cleansing of that home, help with bringing inspirations to one another so we can continue to help each other as family members who care, who love for one another. And we can even do that connecting with family members who are overseas, in that particular day and time. And there's no space and time barriers when it comes to spiritual life. And that's the reminder that we have, from the learnings of Spiritism, that we can always be with each other, even though we are not physically present in the same environment. So even connecting through, FaceTime and having that Life at Home guide to follow with one another and to support one another is what's the most important thing. And we will also post a few numbers. So if you are watching us from Australia, there is 24/7 support from Lifeline and other organizations. So if the season coming up is a challenging one for you in particular because you are away from your family, or because it's just challenging with you to be with your family, reach out and speak to someone. Sometimes speaking to someone about the issues that we have can offload a huge burden, and it's more normal than what we imagine. I think everyone pictures the holidays and Christmas, and everybody has a perfect family but me, and that's because media and society may have created an image of what the perfect family Christmas might look like, but it's nothing to do with presents, gifts, and capitalism and commercializing, Christmas. Christmas is a time for appreciating love and support that we have around us, appreciating the message of the spirit that we believe in Spiritism that has become the planetary governor of this place where we live, of Earth, and we can honor and connect with him by inspiring generous actions and feelings between us all, and that's what Christmas should be all about. And it doesn't matter what traditions or not we have. What matters is who we are all year long and who we choose to be with our families, with our loved ones on a daily. And how can we be better as a family unit if we are having challenges and if we need support. So we also will be here throughout the holidays, available for a chat, even though this is the last Therapeutic Talk we have this year. We will still have one more List for Kids session on the first Sunday of December, talking to our little ones about the true meaning of Christmas as well, so they can learn from a very